course, nobody ain't supposed to talk about that. Many of them still in this movement. You understand what I'm saying? To kill the civic side of this movement, so people can think it's just another black religious Islamic sect. You get? That was their mission, to establish that fake reality, not reality, but that fake appearance of reality, that semblance, that color to the people, which is the color that most people have of the Moorish movement now. And anyone says that's not true is a liar, because that's the movement. Until we came out and started reaching out to them while everybody else was being silent, condemning us for doing it too. And we put literature out there to change their concepts so they could have something to reference to. You understand? Just like the prophet said do. Exactly what the prophet said do. People mad at us, still mad at us for it. I don't care, because I'm not in it for them. I got babies, and they got babies. And they got babies, and the babies that's still in the womb. And I ain't having it. And I'm a soldier. I came as a defender for no reason. That's why I do what I do. I'm telling you bluntly. And I ain't for you.
Move the force of the conscious game. Superstars won't spend all those G's just a supercar. I'd rather put the funds to move the force guns. Dr. Sebi remedy in truck skids and tons. Signing bonus, give to Gabriel or Igbo. Or UMIA, let more replace Negro. I'm not the face watcher or friend beggar. I'm not the type to take back what I tell ya. And drive flows, I want a Rockefeller. Black Hawk down, a fly rapper and snap propellers. Airspace in these bars, I know flow zones. I heard R&B singers are homo drones. I heard that from a gay rapper dressing so thug. G's can't pass butt cheeks, dressing so snug like a snuggle bear, showing me your underwear. Rapper Inquisition make rappers run from fear of being shown up. You already thrown up, punchlines and hooks leave their face swole up. Or like the triads, if you don't pay what's owed up. Rapper Inquisition, horror flick, the lips sewn up. Can't go one-on-one for IHF zone up. Using the fiat and deals, pumping their clones up. Making more rap clones like iRobot. Short circuit the whole industry of rap robots. That butts boinking. Working with the ones oinking. Hip-hop's hurting IHF, the vocal ointment. Flow like a break waves and b-boy girl dancers. Spit like pain of old school graphers. Fiend for the true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content that you used to. Fiending for true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content that you used to.
They want make me life out like pavement. Me no afraid to make my statement. Babylon go on. With the mental and physical enslavement. Think right now if we are live like cavemen. How much go dead off, how much now go make it. The righteous replace them, the more side erase them. Discrimination, play again with nation. Unity is strength, we weak with separation. Jail houses meant to deplete elevation. Wisdom visit under deep meditation. How you have to see under sleep medication. Herbs are the healing of the nation. Tell them police, they not stop chase man. Especially since me know the phone no place that's flirt of the truth. Me know say you can't take that. See them chat, yeah, this rasta. Nah, take back, you don't know.
Couldn't grasp half of the shit that we've been through. These clip ass niggas making comments on YouTube. TorontoRappers.com talking about you too. Generation switch, shouldn't have to show you. Big man, grow bitch, don't worry about the old school. Haven't seen a man used to see before. Cause certain man don't want the face see no more. Get off our dicks, your pussies is whores. Tendencies up a bitch, you should learn to be a more. And while you're hating, we'll keep repping T.O. and celebrating, cause enough soldiers soon home. We penetrating, got the locks and the codes. So do your own time, bro. We all right. Everybody on their own ground, but we still tight. It's just a miscommunication, which brothers don't fight. You need an occupation, or I forgot you type shit about other men, cause you covered their life. But your business you should mind though, cause we work nights. And you ain't hard to find once darkness comes to light. And I don't care, you can take my flesh life here. I manifest, and I come back in your nightmares. And I kill you there, I've been traveling for light years. I can't die, but they won't see you horny or you won't wake up. Need to call the coroner, another wake up. Your boys will be corona, cause they slept. Reminiscing while they morning saying what the. Just yesterday we was vlogging with each other. Shouldn't have, with just another brother. And the rest of the camp
2 decades straight, we've been making our stamp. Yay, I know you say you don't even know me. I make it clear I'm a Flemo Don OG. Year to year, made stacks off the Mosies from the block to the bars. I'm known we between the rats and the stars. I play it low key, looking down, and it's far at the top, it's getting lonely.
Of course, the ages that exist, whether or not it's in form by my lips, labeled angelic or devilish, based on the view the beholder gets. Till the older we get, our perspectives and action change, regardless lines drawn between those that intend to hinder gain. Similar, not the same. So which other see the left to complain? The reference frames change, while still thinking life is a game. While we train this battlefield, knowing when karma kicks is real, my mental plus my temple must be ready to switch from hurt to heal. It's true to reveal similarities since they be following orders accordingly from trust to destiny. So mercy's unnecessary. Murder honorably one's enemy, and as long as common mode exists, an opposition has to be.
Contestment up, contestment up. Yeah, contest. I'm flattening your career, make a whack rap. Too many whack rappers out there. This one's for y'all, yo. Simon, I'm flattening your career, make a whack rapper disappear. Grab you by your shirt back and kick your ass out of here. Bystanders run for cover, cause I'm back to reap havoc. Remember me? To kill them all and make them die tragic. Turn the opposition, cock it back and let them have it. Let them vanish like I'm a magician and raps with magic. And like poof, you're gone. With the proof I'm on. To all you know, if you want, respond. Give y'all a second, but I recognize you're repping. It's the metrosexual shit, that's not the way that I'm stepping. I study last year's test and skim the cheat sheets. So test me now, kill commercial rap like you don't know. I'm saying head beats. I'm commercial rap on front page. I can't be discreet. Lyric bodies in tall heaps. No more looking wild, kiss my feet. Call me sire. Throughout your skinny jeans and rip up again. Hail a gun, fly, shred your skins and shot out of your bones. Stay out of the kitchen. Better yet, drop the microphone. Steadily prepping better recipes. I rap till the end, but rap won't be the death of me. Let a shower pot. See, when I catch ya, I'll wet ya, then blow you up the crime scene. All that's left is your stretcher. So test me now, make your fans convert. Have them wear fatigues and burning tight pink ass shirts. Have them dashing out the flashy clothes like I'm not Tron. Mailing me pipe bombs, labeled a wannabe rap icon. Check me later, I'm gone. Thought I died, but I respond. My words are bondable, but when I speak, don't respond. I drown shallow-minded MCs in a shallow pond. Mobilize a million men to march like I'm Farrakhan. But I'm more like Malcolm and my brother's son Falcon. Chasing crazy ball heads out of our town after I scalp them. Bit up more than you can chew, motherfuckers. Come test me now. So test me now. So test me now. Idiot.
It's still IHF, still ill, hot and feds. The type to leave a body guy leaking from his head. Dirty like the naps in my head. The enemy still want me dead, but mentally I cause their bodies to combust spontaneously. I be that ghetto dentist, removing chest cavities with my psychopathic surgery. My incision won't be circular, more like linear. My net will stop horizon, can you still hear me clear? No more text messages, only mental mind blast to my comrades. Traders never overstand the task. Rather floss in some tight pants of money in the head. Big chains and rims spinning. My stone hands will leave your face smashed and ears ringing. Armageddon soon beginning, so there's no time for sinning. When I finally kill the devil, I'ma hear these angels singing. Such a beautiful song.
There's some subpar bars. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Shout out to brother Albacet. Talk to him today. You know what I mean? Netherlands more. Doing what he does. Study, 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 because there ain't nothing else to do. The Moors today, you know what I mean? Inside jail. Finding out, I don't know how they found out, but they found about nationality birthrights. You know what I mean? You want to know what's up. They call collect too. They call collect, you know what I mean? But how come I don't have to charge them for putting them onto info? How come I don't have to charge them? How come 2007, let's be fair, it's 2009. Since 2009, we've been doing classes for free. Free. No charge, zero. Zero charge. Because we were taught that this is people's stuff. It's not our stuff because we study all these books or whatever. It's not ours. This belongs to anybody who you're talking to. It belongs to them. It's their stuff. That's how we were taught. I don't know about other people. How we were taught is Rotarian complexion first. Forget whatever you think you could get from whoever because more knowledge than them. You know, you could tell a dumb nigger 5,000 for some papers, stuff twisted on the paper and all that stuff, and they'll pay. And it's not that these people that do these things are in the batch of dirty Moors, right? Because we understand, we get it, you know what I mean? This so-called system, you know, it's conniving, you know, it's devious, it's very twisted. You should want to be out of this. But there's saving power in something called under threat, duress, and coercion. That if you're in a situation where threatened or whatever, under threat, duress, and coercion, under threat, duress, and coercion, it allows you to understand that in a jurisdiction that's really colored. Because in order for them to implement the color, it has to be through threatening you. It has to be through trying to take all your liberties away just because you want to reserve your rights on a paper. It's not that we don't get it. That, yeah, we got families out here and stuff like that. But, you know, you can't rape your people. That's no-no. You can't see a Negro and tell a Negro 5,000 for some papers, and then that Negro buy into the idea, and you never told them about their nationality? You never told them about their birthrights? Papers right here, and they just get them and that's it. That's no-no. And again, we understand. You got to eat out here, live, food in the fridge, you know what I mean? Clothes on the back, whatever, you know. If it's like the people with, you know, the exemption account, that's, you know, $50 billion credit account, but they're telling you pay them when they got 50 billion credit. Like, what do you need me to pay you for? If you really mastered this, if you really mastered this and you got tags and a place where you're not renting, paying mortgage or whatever, just by studying, you got that, right? Not you paying anybody. You just studied, and that's what you got. So everything, pretty much you're living for free because you don't have a mortgage, you don't have rent or whatever, so you shouldn't really need fiat for anything because the only reason why a majority of people work is to pay their rent. Eliminate rent by saying, I claim this house, and then you went to court and you won or whatever, then there's no way that you should be charging anybody anything. You should be opening up your house to the freaking community to come learn for free. If you mastered it like that, you know, people want to make a living off the birthright. Even though Drew Ali said this is Rotarian, so that means, you know, you have to be providing a service, you know, and the service is uplifting fallen people so that they don't have to be fallen anymore. You know, it's real simple. The Negro mentality has people afraid to work, have a job. Because trust me, drug dealer, he works for himself, but he works just as hard as the guy who's picking up garbage. They both work. They both have a shift, whatever time that they do, whatever. Once the Rotarian is taken away, don't call yourself more when you're doing whatever you're doing. When the uplifting fallen humanity is in the back and charge people for stuff is in the front, don't say Moorish Divine National Movement and Noble Juali and all that. Just be a Moor out there that sells stuff or charges for stuff. Juali and the Moorish movement to your unhumanitarian activity, right? This is for all the Moors, September 12th, 2017. This is for all the Moors who like to not deal with Noble Juali, right? Because he said nationality and birthrights, you know what I mean? And that's it. No filing papers, no talking to these guys about, you know what I mean? Give me some paper so you can do stuff. Like, not dealing with them. You're saying that you're more, but then you want to do stuff with this straw as if that's you, right? You want to go get index. Not in the free national name, index straw. Get the straw name on the registry for the whatever list. Remember, this is happening to Europeans. Keep that in mind. That what I'm about to talk about is happening to Europeans. This is their own stuff. Main Republic email alert. Federal indictment using SSN and secret trust TDA account, Heather and Randall. And then they're going to play there. Remember, these are Europeans. Remember, they're in land that's not theirs. They're in land that's not theirs, talking about they have some sovereign claim to be using some SSN and some BS. There's some secured party creditor in land that's not theirs. This is Northwest Amexem. This is Maghreb, Al-Aqsa. This is Morocco, the farthest west. This is the jurisdiction of the Moors over here, North America. Check the congressional records. Don't believe anything that I'm saying. The congressional records in relation to America, and you'll get whatever answers you want. But don't think for a second republic or whatever like that have some type of authority to do stuff here. The United States of America knows that these guys are a fraud. Corporation now. Corporation going after the corporate people, free men on the land and free men on the land. Why are you using SSN number? Why are you authenticating birth certificates if you're secured party creditor? Birth certificate's a debt instrument. Party creditor, but you're instrument, and then saying there's going to be a credit account on a debt instrument. They all play their stuff, and then this also includes Moors who thought they can get away with stuff. Recognize it's crackdown going down right now. Because either because guaranteed half these people didn't reserve their rights on these UCC whatever contracts, so they're stuck in that. There is $1 million whatever account name, you don't have jurisdiction over it because they do, because it's their stuff, which is what you're going to find out, that is their stuff. It is important to keep in mind everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Europeans against Europeans right now. I do not recommend anyone doing the following actions. It is best to wait and see exactly what develops from this case. Indictment. America versus Randall Keith Bean and Tucci Giraffe. Capital letters. May 6, 2017. In all capital letters. He did not own via wire Federal Reserve number, whatever, and fictitious account number ending in whatever to purchase whatever in the amount of $100,000. People, the same people, pretend like they're sovereign here, authority to say that they're, republic or whatever. USAR gets slapped up. Corporation, again, remember, corporation we're talking about. We don't have these people that say that they're sovereign. They're so sovereign. How is the corporation? Being transferred 493 via wire, account number belonging to BG, whose identity is known as grand jury. Of Title 18, the United States Code, Section 3, whatever. So, thing that Moors use United States codes or something like that. Point. If you go check to see what that is, that's not Moors using that. Their code enforced the Constitution, didn't he? Constitution. What does IRS have to do with enforcing the Constitution? What does Democratic have to do with enforcing the Constitution? You know, they go again, you know, defending their fraudulent position. The arrest of Randall Bean was a wrongful arrest and will be cleared up soon. We will continue to monitor the situation. Please review. They have jurisdiction because they're Europeans. You can't be free man on the land. You're a free man on the land, but you're European, telling Europeans they don't have jurisdiction over you. And then again, Moors jump in the pot with the frogs or whatever like that and get, because they forget that this is about nationality and birthrights. That's what this is about. This is about nationality and birthrights. The position of not teach people about nationality and birthrights. Other stuff, whatever processes, whatever else that is out there. Your nationality and birthrights. Like, why are you putting other people on so that they could know? That's me. Anybody who knows about their nationality and birthrights, for real, it's because they studied. It's not because somebody put them on. Anybody who's exercising their nationality and birthrights as a Moor can say, oh, wow, he could do that? They're doing that because they can study. It's not because somebody gave them a paper or they bought a paper or whatever. So the same way they got it, they shouldn't be giving it up. But it doesn't go like that. Why doesn't it go like that? How come it's so hard? Like I'm saying, we got a track record of, since 2009, free classes. Got somewhere to live and all that stuff. Like, what do you mean? I'd rather have it this way than raping my people. Or like, yeah, you know what I mean? We're Moors, Moorish American, or whatever. You're hitting people up for 500 a class or whatever. Downloads from, and you put those stuff on USBs, and now you're selling those when stuff in somebody else's computer, and they download, filled up your drive, a terabyte, and then you're selling the terabyte, knowing that you didn't pay $1,500 to get the terabyte, but you know, people got to eat out here, and they got to feed their family and stuff like that. So it's all right because you know they have this knowledge, so they are able to provide the service of assisting their people with things that they need assistance with that they're not qualified to do for themselves. How about if they fucking studied, qualified to do it for themselves? How about that? How about tell them go study instead of freaking trying to leech off them because you want to get your hands dirty? Like, regardless of what, you got to work. You got to pay taxes. What do you think? You think you're going to be Moorish American and you're not going to be paying taxes to the Moorish nation? What freaking planet do you come from that you think because you're Moor, stuff doesn't apply to you because we're all Moors and society doesn't work like that? What are you talking about? All the people living in. And again, Zodiac Constitution talks about all of that. BS. Noble Jawali told you, anybody who tried to teach you anything, they're not Moors, they're robbers. Anybody charge you for something outrageous, forget calling them Moors, they're robbers. But nah, you know, people are so dumb. People are so dumbed down that I'm not even going to go study. Like, what other reason is there on the earth plane? right? Other than to get knowledge. And whatever you get, pass it on to somebody else. Because trust, everything you have, you can't use, but somebody could use what you got. And you know, sometimes people out of desperation, something, and then they realize that it's lucrative, and then they just stay, they forget about the desperate, you know, that they did that out of desperation. For now, so now you should supposed to yield and do something else. Oh no, you're still pretending like $5 grand a month from the government because you have 8 children or whatever. Yeah, but your baby dad's a ball player. He gives you 50 grand every month. What do you mean you need government stuff? Right? About your nationality and birthrights, and thinking somebody telling you a price, an amount, pull you into thinking that's commerce. That's not commerce, that's business. Profit. That's not commerce. Commerce is not when it's a, you know, I mean, the word commercial lean package. It's not, that's not commercial. That's business. That's business. Business is about profit. The profit, the F profit. The F. And they know this. Play their little game. So because people got mad, Canaanland Moors sticks to the point of making sure people aren't getting played. Don't get played. Out there to get played. Like the Moors that called from inside. So right now, I mean, I got court coming up, and you know, and all this information, and I know that it's real, and what you got right now, and the best thing that you can do with your time right now in there, work out, and don't forget, you're with the Moor, who has all the books and everything like that. You just go get with that Moor to give you your nationality and birthrights inside the institution. When you leave the institution, you're going to have to detox. That makes sense or whatever. This guy inside. If I'm doing things that I used to do in here, out there, with the knowledge of, that wasn't 500 because we were on the phone for 10 minutes. That was my brother. Deplorable position that he could be in. I'm going to play I can't take his call or whatever. Hearing a voice is going to do whatever for him. Inside, and they say, yeah, yo, that letter that you sent, letter in 2 years. Why? Because that this is humanitarian. If you want to, you know, whatever to sell or whatever, you know, do your thing. Just don't, because you're dealing with business if you're doing that. And Moors are about commerce. We're not about business. What business are you talking about? We're about commerce. Joel even told us commerce. He doesn't say nothing about no business. That's why there's business league. That's why there's business manager. That's why there's people with those positions so they can handle that. That's a separate jurisdiction. It's about the manufacturing companies, like Moorish Science Temple or whatever. That's in its own jurisdiction. People out here are dumbed down. The most important thing right now is some schools. So we can teach these children Islam to Brother Moreno Bay. YouTube page. Right? Forget these old heads. We're going to do some class with some children. What teach these old heads what? Teach them what? They're too busy, wanna make riches off their brother. Let's go get these children. Let's wake them up. Let's give the children a chance with this nationality and birthright. Because trust, they'll be on it harder than some of these people we're trying to convince the information. So it's going to be today. So we got a few pages right here to read, and we're basically going to do our best to get through all of this because we want to prove the point. The institution that has been established, the corporate democracy that has been posing as government, has been on the minds of the people who are part of it. And people who are part of it have come out and said exactly what it is that Moors are saying it is right now. Because it's the same reference point. These people are corporation, they're not government. So why even engaging them on some governmental levels? And remember again, it's under threat, duress, and coercion. Reservation of your rights. Anytime you deal with these people, go to your nationality anytime. You don't need to have some number to have jurisdiction to do something. Just like the Moor said, right? It's real simple. When you buy the quote unquote car, vehicle, whatever, just don't register it. If you don't register it, you don't got jurisdiction. No, well, you know what I mean? I got the dash, 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 so we're going to just register it with the dash, 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 and then what? Well, why? Why? You didn't just hear that they're not who they say that they are? So we're going to go through as much of this as possible. Edmund Burke told us how all this is possible when he said the only thing necessary for evil to triumph, do nothing. Bankruptcy of the United States. United States Congressional Record, March 1993. Speaker James Traficant Jr., Ohio, addressing the House. Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government. We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some who say it is a coroner's report that will lead to our demise. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act 1933, declared by President Roosevelt being bankrupt and insolvent. HJR 192, 73rd Congress M Session, June 5, 1933, joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause, dissolve the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all United States governmental offices, officers, and departments, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today in name only. What do you mean Department of the Treasury sent you something? They exist in name only. There's not no Department of the Treasury of whatever. Guarantee you that they got so excited about what they're gonna benefit, they're gonna get because they can do whatever, that it didn't even register to them that those people are bankrupt, dissolved, and insolvent. So if you are poor, you are actually donating your energy to them. You know that it's not about the credit. They're dissolved. So obviously it's not about the credit. If they say UCC, file a paper, send a paper in, obviously it's not about that because they're dissolved. So what is it that they want? King Alfred plan, energy. The energy. I can say because I don't work for those people who give me a so-called paycheck. Those individuals in that so-called school that they call students, who they have nobody to relate to in there but each other. And my pay is going to the school to work, and all of them come around and they want to know something. What, like, tell us something. You know, my phone right now, like, what could I research or whatever? That's my pay. I don't care. The same congressional record tells you that most people haven't been paid in their entire life. Most people, even the people who are saying, we got a package, give me $5 grand, they didn't get paid. Catch 22. Run for infinity. Why? Because you have individuals who know that they're not that fictitious entity, but they are engaging the so-called federal people, fictitious entity, which is emancipation or transfer. Okay, because energy. When a man says what he says on the congressional record, then years later, tractor rolls over him on his farm or whatever. The generation of farmers. History of this family ever had a tractor roll over on them. And all of a sudden, a guy who knows how to fish, reel or whatever, and then hook tears his face off? No. It doesn't seem logical. And again, these people, processes, dissolved corporation and insolvent, are giving it power. Don't worry about me and I have a job. Because trust, I don't work for them people. Right? Trust that. I'm in this world, not of this world. I'm on the Yahshua teachings. I'm on the Buddhist teachings. I'm on the Sufi teachings. They're just a husk. I said in the song, I'll give you the flesh life. Don't worry, I'll come back in your dreams. I'll torment you for the rest of your life. Just because. Man is spirit, not the flesh. Like, so don't think that we're caught up because we got jobs and we got car and that we're caught up in this illusion. Like these package a phone call for $150, people. Right? Like the Moor said, we're at the house. We're about getting information. We're not selling anything called birthrights to anyone. Can't be done. As soon as you do it, you're in violation. And it's not even like them birthrights for free and then charging them for the stuff. You guys got something to sell. You got some way for them to do something. And then they go do this thing in a dead status. And something. Just showed you European. They're using SSN, whatever, and they're getting it right now. Those are the ones that are willing to talk up about it. Forget about the ones who've been talking BS, and then when stuff goes down, then they get quiet because, they don't want to look like a clown. They don't want to talk up. There are foreigners here. Jurisdiction. Foreigner doesn't have jurisdiction. This is not Europe. Okay, so then why you going to federal U.S. to file some papers? Foreigner doesn't have jurisdiction. Then why are you going to federal dissolved, bankrupt, insolvent U.S. to deal with them about anything? And again, there's just info for people who like to do processes. You know what I mean? You think that's the way to go, forget nationality, you know what I mean? I'm a black guy, so I can go do a process as black. All right? This is what you're getting yourself into by dealing with them. This is what everybody knows. Because remember, niggers don't read, so they don't know this. But they know about every process. They know about every, you know what I mean, way that they can off some straw. Right? Benefit off straw. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like it's, the freshly cut. I mean, it's still green. Like you have the brown straw talking about you have something of value. The Federal Reserve, a corrupt institution. And we have in this country one of the most corrupt institutions the world has ever known. The Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve banks. After the Fed has cheated the government of these United States and the people of the United States out of enough money to pay the nation's debt. The depredations and iniquities of the Fed has cost enough money to pay the national debt several times over. The institution has impoverished and ruined the people of these United States, has bankrupted itself, and has practically bankrupted our government through the defects of the law under which it operates, through the maladministration by the Fed, and through the corrupt practices of the moneyed vultures who control it. So this is why it's so easy for them to do this, because they're taking that position of being the vulture, that they know that these people have a birthright. They're more. And then they're telling people, do a process. And then if they're interested, they'll let them know about Moors and nationality. It doesn't work like that. Order of the day. Nationality and birthrights is what anybody who says that they're a Moor should be imparting on anybody who doesn't know. And that's it. You're not supposed to be telling them about anything else. They're supposed to get nationality and birthrights first, that they're not Negro, black, colored, that they're Moors. That's the first lesson. You know, I can fix you or whatever. I can correct your status from the with the brother inside. And stand on their square and impropria persona and all that stuff when they're inside and they have an institutionalized mind. You don't think that they're gonna send those people for psychic evaluation when the go down goes down? And then because your dumbass went and then told them, before you tell them, you know what I mean, go study since they got time, tell them that they can do something in there to get themselves out. When the only Moors that did anything and got themselves out were ones that studied. And they knew for themselves, not somebody on the outside sent them some paper to give to the warden or whatever. They themselves knew. Oh, you guys gonna kidnap me? Okay, no problem. If we're going, let's go. And get let out of that. Well, don't ever come back here and all that type of stuff. Because they knew what nationality and birthrights was. Somebody didn't sell that to them. Remember, Jolly said that our people are hard-headed. So, you know, the hard head that we have, it has to get beat into you over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why is the class so repetitive? Because you have a hard head, and we're going to beat you until you get it. Nationality is the order of the day. This is not some club that you're joining. This is not some type of you can be part of this. And if you're not part of it, then you have nothing to do with it like that. All that is fiction. And as soon as you have that mindset, oh, trust me, there's somebody with a fez ready to put you in slavery. And it's going to be more economic slavery. Because again, if they know all this, there's a fraud going on. How are they willingly going? The ones that are on the Congressional record as a fraud. Under them, they're going to the departments of whatever. They're going to the actual offices that are dissolved. They're actually going, we're saying this like this. McDonald's drive-through, store, everything boarded up like hurricanes coming. And then here you come going through the drive-through or whatever, waiting at the thing, hitting the thing, talking about, is anybody there? I want to make an order. Is anybody there? They're dissolved. Bankrupt. No, bankrupt. Insolvent. And people are going to say, oh, they stamped my paper. They stamped this birth certificate. So now, yeah, now I have the authority of something. Bankrupt people stamped your thing and you think that you have some authority? Fool. Fool. It's just like with thinking you get away with something. Away with something, you probably shouldn't have been doing what you're doing, if that's how it's manifested. If you do a process to see if you better do what Noble Drawley said and declare your nationality. If you don't do anything else, forget all the other stuff he was telling you to do. You better be in the mindset of know what you're talking about. Because these people are not playing games. Ask those Europeans with their SSNBS indicted on some stuff. They got like 20 charges. Transferring this and that account and all that stuff. Inquisition, revenue services. You don't mess with their stuff. Are you messing with their stuff? That's the Inquisition. And those Europeans know. Remember, they said they're a secure party creditor. They're free man on the land. They're natural. They're what do they call it again? Oh, and stuff like that. You're all that. If you're all that, well, you need authenticate some stuff with dissolved bankrupt people who you know that is dissolved bankrupt because they push this. Well, not the package people, because you know if the package people pushed that JR 192 and all this stuff that we're talking about, then you know their game's over, because pushing that the stuff they're doing is bankrupt and dissolved and insolvent, and people go with it. Because remember, once they get into this arena, they now become guilty by association, right? Because remember, you went to get the authentication. So that means you have intent of getting something. Resolved. December 17th, 1913. My dear Senator Weeks, throughout my public life, I have supported all measures designed to take the government out of the banking business. This bill puts the government into the banking business as never before in our history. The powers vested in the Federal Reserve Board seem to me highly dangerous, especially where there is political control of the board. I should be sorry to hold stock in a bank subject to such dominations. The bill as it stands seems to me to open the way to a vast inflation of currency. I had hoped to support this bill but I cannot vote for it because it seems to me to contain features and to rest upon principles in the highest degree menacing to our prosperity, to stability in business, and to the general welfare of the people of the United States. Yours truly, Henry Cabot Lodge. The Fed became law the day before Christmas Eve in the year 1913, and shortly afterwards, the German international bankers Kuhn, Kuhn, Loeb, Loeb, and Company sent one of their partners here to run it. The Fed note is essentially unsound. It is the worst currency and the most dangerous that this country has ever known. When the proponents of the act saw that the democratic doctrine would not permit them to let the proposed banks issue the new currency as banknotes, they should have stopped at that. They should not have foisted that kind of currency, namely an asset currency, on the United States government. They should not have made the government liable on the private debts of individuals and corporations, and least of all on the private debt of foreigners. As Kemerer, Kemerer says, the Fed notes, therefore, in form, have some of the qualities of government paper money, are almost a pure asset currency possessing a government guarantee against which contingency the government has made no provision whatsoever. Honorable L.J. Hill, a former member of the House, said, and truly, they are obligations of the government for which the United States receives nothing and for the payment of which at any time it assumes the responsibility, looking to the Fed to recoup itself. The United States is to redeem the Fed notes. When the general public finds it costs to deliver this paper to the Fed, and if the government has made no provisions for redeeming them, the first element of unsoundness seek. Now again, remember that we're talking about the process pushers that aren't letting the people know that the places where they're going to file papers or whatever are bankrupt people. They're dissolved and insolvent. Dwali said, do all new business in your free national name. Many Moors proclaimed their nationality and then started doing processes using that fraudulent, fictitious strawman name. Now that's directly going against because you should be doing that business in your free national name, in the name that you're saying that you're not. Remember, all old business stays as it is. So whatever you are doing in that name, that stays and continues to do that in that name. All new stuff going forward, free national name is how it should be done. But, you know, Moors want to be rich. Moors want to have big houses and cars and get caught up in the illusion about conscious people should be rich too. And more should be, yeah, I mean, you know, if you want something, like we were taught back in the day, you know, if you want something, you should be able to buy it 3 times. If you have to go get credit to go buy something, you're a clown. Jackass. Because that, what's credit? Like we said, put the buckets, the gold in the one, the silver in the one, and then put credit in that bucket. If you could put credit in that bucket, then go hard for credit. If you can't, question your sanity. Question your sanity. Because the objective of debt is that you can't have credit. So if they're bankrupt and dissolved and insolvent, what credit is there that exists? What credit? Oh, some people over here said that they have something called a bureau and all that stuff. You falling for those guys? So okay, I get it. You think these bankrupt, dissolved, insolvent people are some type of authority, not recognizing that you engaging them is what creates the credit. You putting your energy into dealing with them is what makes the credit get better. How about you put that to your nation? Dissolve, bankrupt, insolvent people who aren't giving you a return on what you give them. Like I said, my return is this little sister. She was able to connect with this teacher to get whatever it is that she needed because, you know, there's always issues. This little brother was able to get, because he really wanted to stop smoking weed, because he realized that it was affecting his work. He was able to get connected with somebody to assist him. That's my pay. Right? Fiat chasing Moors, the Moors that chase fiat, they're gonna get you caught up in some stuff. What they're selling, they didn't buy. I guarantee you, what they're selling, they didn't buy. What they put in a package and say, you can pay for this and it will do whatever they claim it's going to do, it's highway robbery. That's the girl with the fat ass pulled over, leaning over the trunk or whatever like that, you know what I mean? And then you get robbed. Same thing with, you know what I mean, the people who claim they're Moors on them and you don't get stuff. Right? And that it's impossible to reach them after you gave your fiat. Like there's absolutely no way of contact. I mean, at least something happened and you never got no package or whatever. We got a number. You call the voicemail, you know what I mean? I check it, so you're gonna get a call back. Call into MHHS, you can go to Harlem or whatever like that, and you could engage these people. These people, you can't engage these people. They're playing around. Because it's about playing people. Started playing around. Moors in Temple #1 that was selling charters. They're selling Moorish Science Temple of America charters. These are Moorish Science Temple people. Why would you sell a charter? Like, when are you supposed to just give it? Like what do you mean? Sell the charter. What do you mean? How does that even make sense? And then for the stupid jackass that's buying it too. How does that even make sense? When Drew Ali's own stuff tell you that you want a charter, you just get a charter. Not supposed to be no jump through hoops to get no charter. Well, oh, you've been jumping through hoops to get a charter? I should let you know something. Bankrupt, dissolved, insolvent, color of authority people, pretending that they have some authority, and then people engaging them like they got some authority. They don't got no authority. The only authority they have is what you give them. And majority of times, again, we're not engaging them on the threat, duress, and coercion. We're engaging them on some, hey, how you doing? I'm here. I found out about whatever. And then they're supposed to be like, hey, glad you found out. Here's the threat, duress, and coercion. You didn't reserve your rights or nothing like that. You just contracted with them. They're bankrupt, dissolvent, insolvent. They owe $50 gazillion to China. Think, okay, keep playing. Keep playing like you don't know. Better start studying. Told you the priesthood is dead. Ain't nobody out here gonna save you with anything that they got. You better know. You better know. This is not about somebody put you on. This is about you got some reference points, you went and studied. And whatever you found out, you're going to use it to the best of your ability. Because, you know, who else is going to use it? And again, watch out for those Moors that selling USBs with information on them. Watch out for them ones. That's another hustle. Because trust me, they just plug that in somebody's stuff and they got that loaded up. Why are they charging you for it if they got it for free? How dare they? They got it for free. How dare they? Hustle-minded Moors raping their people. It's okay. They're niggers, so you know we just rape them. It doesn't matter. It can't be like that. Because you know this is uplifting fallen humanity. This is Rotarian. You think that the BS going on in your life is, you know, moons and stuff like that? No. That's your dumbass getting back whatever it is that you had put out there. That you should have known better than to sell somebody 5,000 for some papers. Like, come on, $5 grand. 10-minute phone call, $200. Like, there's Moors right now that if you have, you know, this question, you have to pay. Now, you know, if you got something big and somebody's really putting in some time to assist, Rotarian perspective, it'll be the one who's going through the thing to say, here's whatever. And for that person to accept it or say, nah, it's cool. Hey, that's gonna be whatever amount. The hell are you? You got some knowledge, you think you got some knowledge, you think you're whoever? No. Because all those people have to do is study to be where you're at, just like what you did. Hustle them. You can't say that has a certain amount of power and deal with your people worse than you deal with the fraud. You're not telling them about nationality and birthrights up front. At the threshold of nationality and birthrights. If you're not, and you're talking about some other stuff, when you know that this is about nationality and birthrights, World Enslavement Plan. When the Fed was passed, the people of these United States did not perceive that a world system was being set up here, which would make the savings of the American school teacher available to a narcotic drug vendor in Acapulco. They did not perceive that these United States was to be lowered to the position of a coolie country, which has nothing but raw material and heart, was destined to supply the manpower, and that this country was to supply the financial power to an international superstate. A superstate controlled by international bankers and international industrialists acting together to enslave the world for their own pleasure. The people of these United States are being greatly wronged. They have been driven from their employments. They have been disposed of their homes. They have been evicted from their rented quarters. They have been left to suffer and die for lack of shelter, food, clothing, and medicine. The wealth of these United States and the working capital have been taken away from them and has either been locked in the vaults of certain banks and the great corporations exported to foreign countries for the benefit of the foreign customers of these banks and corporations. So far as the people of the United States are concerned, there. It is true that the warehouses and coal yards and grain elevators are full, but these are padlocked, and the great banks and corporations hold the keys. The sack of these United States by the Fed is the greatest crime in history. Mr. Chairman, a serious situation confronts the House of Representatives today. We are the trustees of the people, and the rights of the people are being taken away from them. Through the Fed, the people are losing the rights guaranteed to them by the Constitution. Their property has been taken from them without due process of law. Mr. Chairman, common decency requires us to examine the public accounts of the government and see what crimes against the public welfare have been committed. These crimes against the public welfare are these instruments that they've created under the guise that they're government to get people into adhesion contracts so they can be in their jurisdiction so that people can be wards and be raped by them. And then instead of working to try to keep that in that position of being bankrupt, dissolved, insolvent, deal with them with a 10-foot pole, engage them and have them seal your papers and stuff like that to get some authority over something, and don't think that something's wrong with that, check your sanity. What is needed here is a return of the Constitution. The old struggle that was fought out here must be fought over again. The Fed should be repealed, and the Fed banks, having violated their charters, should be liquidated immediately. Government officials who have violated their oaths of office should be impeached and brought to trial. Unless this is done by us, I predict that the American people, pillaged, insulted, and betrayed as they are in their own land, in their wrath, and will sweep the money changers out of the temple. Keep in mind who the Americans are. That these are Europeans talking about the problem that's going on in their, how their so-called stuff is getting taken over, how they're sold out to the international bankers, how there and there and there. They're saying they don't want nothing to do with this. So there's Europeans that don't want nothing to do with it. How is it that Moors want something to do with it? Willingly. And then they think amalgamation has to do with some European women. You're European women, do not amalgamate. You know, we had our own factories and all that. And this is the play. Because even with divine warning, money doesn't make the man. For the chase fiat Moors, money doesn't make the man. Neither does gold, silver, coins, or whatever stuff like that. Doesn't make you. Stuff you got, records on the wall. You won something. You got gold trophy, ring. Thing means nothing. Money doesn't make the man. Free national standards and power nation. It's free national standards and power that make. Well, you already know, you read the Quran, power is an illusion. It's really only free national standards that make a man in a nation. That's how simple it is. That's all. You want to be a nation? The wealth of all national governments, gold, silver, and commerce, citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. So you can have all the gold and the silver and the commerce all you want. But without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no wealth. And that you did some credit process or whatever, and you're a black guy. You have no wealth. Have the account with the credit. You still have no wealth because you have no free national name. You're still a ward, which means you're their property, which means you can't own property, which includes an exemption account. But you did that in the straw? Oh, sorry. Property can't own property. Account for what? What does property need to account for? What's the hat need to account for? What, the hat has a bank account? Do you got the hat money to put in there? Hat bank account? Themselves and then bringing you down to get played with them because you don't want to study. You think that Moors are, bucket hat and whatever. semantics all the time, and you know they don't really have knowledge because they're Muslims and all that. Get the hell out of here. You know who the hell we are? As Moors. You know what type of work Moors putting out here? Beating this beast up. Ass with their Glocks and AR, whatever. Not even doing nothing. Just polishing and cleaning. You're not even doing nothing. Shooting at Bibles. Talking BS about Moors. Who's dealing with this system. You got people attacking Moors right now. Moors going, beating these people up with law. Right now, going on. Right now, as we speak. So don't be fooled. Some quick references. You know, all these people who like to go get their papers stamped by the IRS and stuff like that. IRS recognize them, and you know, we're gonna file papers with IRS and stuff like that. We just put this stuff out there. In a letter written by Congressman Ron Paul, dated August 27th, 1979, like it is. Strictly speaking, it probably is not necessary for the federal government to tax anyone directly. It could simply print the money it needs. However, that would be too bold a stroke, for it would then be obvious to all what kind of counterfeiting operation the government is running. The present system combining taxation and inflation is akin to watering the milk, and the people catch on. Right? Too much water, too much knowledge, and people realize something. That's why they hate RV Bay publications, because too much info on there. They can't even catch up right now. Because what they're trying to come with, that's not interesting to nobody. After they've been to RV Bay publications, what are they listening to these clowns for? For what? Like we said the other day, you put in Tosh Street Bay from any era since he started teaching, anyone. You just pick a year. And trust me, somebody's gonna watch that and they'll wake up way quicker than them going to some of these process people. Because they think it's about some process. It ain't about no process. It's about you get your mind right. As I told the brother, locked up. What do you mean correct status? You're not correcting no status in there. What do you mean? You got 24 hours a day to study. Yeah, that's true. What status correction in jail? What are you talking about? Who told you that? Yeah, somebody really told you that? Just correct your status in jail? How you paying? Or when you come out, do you gonna pay? No. You guys are slick, huh? You guys are slick. But don't be played. Recognize that this is birthright. And if you want to know, you're going to go study to know. Voluntary compliance places the responsibility to file a return. You also may have to determine the amount of your tax liability. Number 21. Jack Warren Wade Jr. When you owe the IRS. The tax code represents the genius of legal fiction. Never really known why people pay income tax. The IRS encourages voluntary compliance through fear. Former IRS Commissioner Mortimer Kaplan. Our tax system is based on individual self-assessment and voluntary compliance. 1979, Kuntz, Kuntz, commissioner of the IRS, said, to put these figures in context, individuals voluntarily reported nearly 1.1 trillion in income and paid 142 billion in voluntary income taxes. 1979 IRS annual report. Because what happens to be a lawful command on the surface, many citizens, because of respect for the law, are cunningly coerced into waiving their rights due to ignorance. U.S. versus Minker. And that is how the IRS gets the taxpayers who voluntarily, under penalty of perjury, that they had income. Headquarters agent Paul Strassel had this to say about IRS audits. The real point of audits is to instill fear, not to extract revenue. The IRS aims at winning through intimidation and getting maximum voluntary compliance. We are of the opinion that there is a clear distinction in this particular individual and a corporation, and that the latter has no right to refuse to submit its books and papers for an examination. The individual may stand upon his constitutional rights. He is entitled to carry on his private business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited. No duty to the state or to his neighbors to divulge his business or to open his doors to an investigation, so far as it may tend to incriminate him. He owes no such duty to the state, since he receives nothing therefrom beyond the protection of his life and property. His rights are such as existed by the law of the land long. Listen there. And can only be taken from him by due process of law and in accordance with the Constitution. Among his rights are the refusal to incriminate himself and the immunity of himself and his property from arrest or seizure except under a warrant of law. He owes nothing to the public so long as he does not trespass upon their rights. An individual may lawfully refuse to answer incriminating questions unless protected by an immunity statute. And that's Hale versus Henkel. Whatever may constitute income, therefore, must have the essential feature of gain to the recipient. Congress has taxed income, not compensation. Connor versus U.S. Means only gains and profits, not wages. South Pacific Lowe, L-O-W-E. It is to be noted that by the language of the Act, it is not salaries, wages, or compensation for personal services that are to be included in gross income. Lucas versus Earl. Excludes wages, salaries, and tips. People of New York. Tips are gifts and are therefore not taxable. OKL versus US. A debt is not paid by the giving of a note. Nolan Company, Maryland Casualty. A note is only a promise to pay and not payment. Fidelity Savings Bank versus Grimes. A check payable in notes is an altered instrument and void. MRS 1954 125. This is not money. School district versus U.S. National Bank. Now there was testimonial that we got to put out there. So or Sunday in class, talking with about her situation in the school that she's in. So she went today and spoke with the people, and the response was very interesting, right? So so she wrote up her statement, you know, free national name, Sade Suana Elbe, ex-relation, straw. And then she did her calls of action, went to drop it off today. So she goes in there today, and the lady who she's engaging or whatever, you know, she's putting the lady on like, yo, you know what I mean? This is about my birthrights, you know. I have a right to learn or whatever like that. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting to be kicked out or you know what I mean, miss 2 weeks or miss to it because of some situation with some nigger. Like, that's not what's going on. You know what I mean? You know, I have a birthright. You know, your school is on my land or whatever. It's on my land. Like, you can't tell me I can't go here. Lady's like, European lady. Like, you know, you're right. It actually is about birthrights. You know, many people give up their rights, and she starts going off. So Shadi is sitting there like, is this really happening right now? Is this really the response I'm getting because I stood up on birthrights that she didn't pay for? All she did was study. She didn't pay for that. Nobujwali told her, I mean, when intelligent tone. Went in her intelligent tone and got super favorable reply. Reply to the point where like she's calling me ecstatic because she can't believe what she just heard from this European. The reason that she heard it because she had enough courage to go down there with her statement, name on the record, that these people know that, yes, I understand that your system has me written down like this, but that's not me, like, right now. So don't use that to say who I am or whatever like that, because I'm right here. And European lady was with her 100% all the way from the start to the end. We just want to send a shout out to sis to keep studying and You know, we know that it's real. It's going to catapult you further. The fact that you walked that path. You walked that path. We keep getting the question about. We keep getting the question about you know, the trust and the estate and the trust and what we say. Go get it's free, right? It's online. Wise Trustee Handbook. Guide to Express Trust and Common Law and General Law Merchant. Wise Trustee Handbook. And this should keep you busy enough for a little while, right? And, you know, again, it's reference point. Does not take anything out of this and just, no, it's a reference point. After you digest this, then you know, and watch those trust class that people watch, and they're, you know, watching, but they're not really getting the point that you're not gonna get everything in a 2-hour class or a 3-hour class or an 8-hour class. You have to study to get the rest. You have to study. Ain't no big deal. We can be on the phone for 5 hours. Ain't no big deal. I love what I do, so it's not no big deal for me to teach people, right? But whatever you get from the call, you need to be taking that and going and studying. Not just because you talk to somebody, that means that's it. What they said is what it is. No, like, you're gonna go check, triple, quadruple check, just to make sure that it is what it is. You know, you might be getting played. You don't check, and then it's only on you. Nobody else. Right? One, you know, because it plays to that 22 again. Like, our people are trying hard, but what are you really trying? Right? So we got this site that we were sent about Moors on Crest, but the site back Central Europe. You know, our people can't be black people. What our people are is Moors. That's what our people are. So to have, you know, a black Central Europe site talk about the Moors would imply that the black Central Europe aren't Moors. Site, we're probably going to be black people running it. But this idea of Moors being somebody back there in history and not themselves is part of the illusion. Because you can't be having this article or whatever talking about Moors, the whole thing, but then your site is called Black. About, you know, Moors and, you know, I mean, nationality and birthrights and selling a package. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense, right? And the only reason it doesn't make sense is because, again, we were taught that this is humanitarian. You can't be Sarite. You can't be a Sarite. Sorry. Nationality. It might be a tribe. Be a Sarite tribe if you want to. The Israelite tribe, but you're not no nation. Right? Which goes to the other question. This idea of the Moroccos, the Kingdom of Morocco and the Empire of Morocco, and the confusion that our people have when Moors say Morocco. No. When the reference point is made about Morocco. Yeah. Get this thing. The idea is let me just leave this with you. Let me go get this to look.
More and more I am being guided to study more. More and more I am being guided to study more. See my Moorish flag flying like my Moorish cape. I'm not a Jew, Jerusalem has a Moorish gate. 30 Moors on real, call them Moorish fakes. Pull at Negroes' emotions like some Moorish drapes. If you really want to know, go to a Moorish meeting. You better have a pen and pad, because when active Moors speaking, it's wake up time. You won't find the Moorish sleeping. Crescent moon and star in the sky, that's a Moorish beacon. The way I navigate beats, call me Moorish Seaman. My nationality, I have the power, Moorish He-Man. Moorish turban, I'm royal, don't mistake me for bourbon. Moorish master MC surgeon, not a rapping servant. We suburban, more are so determined to solve the Negro problem, Moorish white man's burden. Moors beans conquer, white rice, that's a Moorish plate. Black or Moorish on the hook, that's a Moorish fate. Moorish estate before chapter 48 ancestral line. All secrets taken away. Moors are not clandestine. You will make to go to back rooms.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure you support, because if you claim that you want to know, then we don't do the man knows now by being told and all that stuff. Check for yourself. So Empire of Morocco and Kingdom of Morocco, and the difference, you're gonna go get Moors and Masonry. El Talib Mosi Bey. Because understand the important part Asiatic black man plays on this side of the earth. North America, jurisdiction. has a very important connection to the so-called dark-skinned people. And when you, again, use Noble Drew Ali not as some religious guy, but as a teacher, he laid it all out for you so that you can be clear as to who, what, and where your place is. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Ancient Canaanites, not the modern Canaanites, the ancient Canaanites. And his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. Many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, were and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. Now, this is 1913 to 1929. He's talking about the present Moroccan Empire. At that time, there was only an empire. North Africa was really Mauritania. All the other stuff came later. Back to more coming from Maur, Mauritania. Yeah, that's a version, but that's not the fullness. With their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. And inhabitation extended east and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, present North, South, and Central America, Mexico, and the Atlantis Islands before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. So North, South, Central America, including parts over there, are part of the Moroccan Empire. Brother Lanry, who's over there, come over here, and ain't no issue, say more. Not playing corporate tag. Why? Why play corporate tag when I'm in the land of the Moors? That you show allegiance. You know, Brother Latif Bey, show allegiance to the empire. Why are you showing allegiance to corporate democracy? For what? What is there to gain? And, you know, some people don't mind losing their soul. You know what I mean? It's all right. Are thinking into this consciousness. Oh. Colin Vobe. Colin Vo. V-O. No, that's not English. It's not European. Oh, but he's Beto. He's Vo, but he knows that he's Bay. Unovo's not on this side. But you know that he's Beto. So for the Moors in Cali, send you brother Jobe so you can connect with him. Somebody worth sending to, bro. Don't worry. You know what I mean? I'm gonna set you up with some good Moors. We're waking up, y'all. It's not as small as we might think, because, you know, a lot of times we're only looking at ourselves, and, you know, oh man, there should be so much more going on here or whatever. But just look a little further down there. How many Moors are waking up to the fact, about nationality and birthrights. Right back around again. As we continue to evolve, as we continue to learn more about the truth about our nationality and birthrights, as we continue to learn more, we start realizing how much we don't know, and that we probably need to just, you know, go in the hole for a little bit, get ourselves really grounded, you know, really grounded in this idea, in this thought. You know, we have the ability to influence serious change, but we're not going to influence change by being selfish, greedy, you know, and looking at, you know, the people who want to learn like scapegoats. You know, the people who want to learn, you don't take advantage of those people. You take advantage of people who don't want to learn. The dummy. Because you already know that they're just dumb. That's who you don't take advantage of the good people. You don't use the good people. You know? Like the fact that so much information is out there on, and again, not from Moors, information out there from Europeans that know all the corrupt stuff that went on for this thing to be existing today called democracy, United States, that people say government. You know? Jolly told Moors, all you gotta just think. You don't gotta file no papers or nothing like that. Just think. That's all. How about think? Yeah, well, how about just think? Save the headache of having to get played because, you know, you didn't want to study. Anything anybody knows, it could be studied. It could be studied. Anything that anybody knows. So don't think that somebody has some superior knowledge. They got some classes there, they got some superior stuff. Nah, you just don't have enough confidence in what you got. Once you know you're not Negro, black, colored, and you're strong on that, that should be confidence enough for you to start doing something. Grand, have a lecture, get a ballroom and all that stuff. It doesn't have to be grand. You know what I mean? It could be like what Brother Mario's doing. You know, just go hit up some people, teach your children. At the same time, they're gonna learn. You know what I mean? You know, you got a business, do like Brother Ramiel and do like Brother Keith, and you know, use what you have for the upliftment of our people. Use what you got. Why not? You got it. You got nationality and birthrights. You know what that means to people who don't have it? And again, this is why people are willing to give it up so easy. Like, trust me, when Marrakesh hit us up back in the day, when they were Aboriginal law firm, when they hit us up for the 1,200, do some process, yeah, 1,200. Like it was, no big deal. You know what I mean? Just pay the 600, and then when the process done, pay the other 600, and you know what I mean? You'll have your free name, and you'll be able to, whatever. You know, a lot of people thought, Canaanland Moors are just some pop-up, whatever. We're not pop-up. I mean, we had Kabahayawatha Kameen as our teacher, like personal. We brought him here, you know what I mean? We would chill with him one-on-one. You know, we brought Aleem here. We were one-on-one with Aleem and Kadir El Bey. You know what I mean? So it's not like we didn't know stuff. We thought we were just, some new people would take advantage of some new Moors. But again, once you go to the dark side, you're gonna end up playing yourself when you get into studious Moors. Because studious Moors don't. That's why none of these people selling stuff never sell stuff to studious Moors. How come you never seen a studious Moor come out with, "Hey, I just bought this USB from somebody," and you know what I mean? No, they already got those stuff. They do their own research. They got their own goddamn USB. You don't need nobody else's USB. USBs out there that people never seen ever. Some of the people who you say the top teacher, whoever, they never seen stuff that some other Moors got that they just been studying. So try not to get played. I mean, I trust, and I do, because I already know what's up. I'd rather have a Jobe than rate my people as a Jobe. There's no way. I fear Allah too much, personally, to play around with my people's nationality and birthrights. I'm playing around with their birthrights. That's their stuff. I'm not gonna have something for them that's gonna get them out of something because that's not going down. It's not happening. So, you know what I mean? We put it out. Study, study, study. Study, study, study. Study yourself, your lower one and your higher one. Study your chart. Study the Constitution. But make sure you're studying. Nobody tell you what it is. You know what it is, so that when they tell you, you know if it's BS or if, okay, yeah, they're in harmony with truth, because what they're saying is what I know. Right? And keep in mind, all these people who selling stuff, they did not buy what they know. All these people that's selling you something, as soon as they have a price tag on it, right? Process people. I'm talking about people who have products. People who sell processes. People who sell papers. Know for a fact that majority of them, they didn't buy what they're selling you. They got it for free. And they should do the same as was done to them. And if they don't, it's all good, because Allah and Noble Drew Ali knows where everybody is. So they could play games all they want. Their game's not going to last too long. So Islam to all the Moors that was in attendance today. Peace and love to everybody who sent their questions and their testimonials. Islam to the Moors worldwide. Islam to the Moors worldwide. Don't forget, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, 347-945-5899. 347-945-5899 and 425-569-5201. MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, Blog Talk Radio tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, shout out to all the Moors. Continue to study. And, let's put some energy towards getting this information to the younger ones. Let's leave the older people for let them go do their own thing. And let's go to the young ones and see how they gravitate to this. Because based on Brother Mario's video, it appears that the young people will gravitate to this a lot easier than these hard-headed, stiff-necked people that don't want to get it. So, peace and love to all. We'll just close out with the prayer. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Peace and love, Moors. We'll give you a little something to close out. Don't worry. We'll give some. Oh yeah, we'll big up little sis today.
The American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one.
You hear that line? Line's for you. Don't make me laugh. For one people. It's a myth created by Thomas Jefferson. Oh, now you're gonna have a go at Jefferson, huh? My friend, Jefferson's an American saint. All men are created equal. Words he clearly didn't believe since he allowed his own children to live in slavery. He was sick of paying taxes to the Brits. So yeah, he wrote some lovely words and aroused the rabble, and they went out and died for those words. While he sat back and drank his wine and this slave girl. This guy wants to tell me we're living in a community. Don't make me laugh. America. And in America, you're on your own. America's not a country. It's just a business. Now.
The best things in life are free. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. I pray to God, got my soul to keep, cause tomorrow ain't promised and neither is eternity. Consumed with your lives, either working a 9 to 5 or grinding hard just to stay alive. I understand, but sometimes I wonder why some don't take the time to stop and think about the cause before it becomes a crime. I'm a leader, not a follower. I don't run with the crowd, trying to make wise decisions, hope to make my mama proud. I'm trying to keep thinking positive, but too much shit is bringing me down. Holding my rage till I blow, then you'll be hearing a sound. Ignorant people thinking my talk is cheap. I only do it cause I care, I'm not trying to preach. All I can do is drop some truths, a few hints here and there, cause they won't say this on TV. Do your research and prepare. Trying to raise my daughter right, but hell's on earth, so too much shit's in plain sight. Hurts more than giving birth. Sometimes I wonder why, what really is the worth? I'm struggling to survive and I'm feeling so much hurt. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. I pray to God, got my soul to keep, cause tomorrow ain't promised and neither is eternity. Mass destruction, the government's in charge. They know they're gonna fall, so they wanna hit us hard by depopulation through the food and water. And what about the skies? Chemtrails be taking over, crisscrossing, spraying lines of death all over our heads. The air we breathe will soon be making us dead. Sometimes I sit and wonder if y'all really taking it in. Who else is looking up high and within? I don't know how much more I can take, cause knowing so much shit makes me aware and awake of all the evil that surrounds us. And too many people faking all around us, preparing for their fate. Too many people programmed to live this life for fear, so they follow by the rules and get chips in their ears. But in that I don't condone, cause I see it and I know that this life ain't what it seems, and there's much shit still unknown. I got a problem where I tend to worry a lot, but nothing else will change unless you give it a thought. I'm trying to help you and help me and everybody through the words that I speak. For the madness and money, it's time to uplift one another. Ain't a damn thing funny. Look out for each other, all our brothers, all our sisters. Let's rise up, protect one another. Wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. It's time to wake up, don't be stuck in a state of sleep, walking around like some sheep. I pray to God, got my soul to keep, cause tomorrow ain't promised and neither is eternity.